Hey everybody, and welcome back to Uru. In the last video, we read a whole bunch of journals that were about various past kings of Denny. We also read about their culture here, which was pretty interesting. But now we're going to go back to the main game, so let's go back to our Relto first, because that's the only way to get there. We'll learn more about the other kings later on. Here we go. I'm going to use the drinking cloth. Okay, let's see here. More bamboo trees. Wonderful. Okay, let's see here. There's the journey door. I'm going to use this one again. Over here. Somewhere. I think it's here. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now when we return, we want to go to that grove of bamboo trees. At least I think they're bamboo trees. In the case, we can now go and get that final pillar. Whoa. You can see that.
Many stories were there for the Denis to learn from, but they didn't hear them. The ancient tales of Tuat's Ocean, or of course the story of King Shomat and his brothers, which even speaks of gardens and death. But no one truly listened. The garden ages of the proud are beautiful, but they are built on the backs of the least. The ages like Chemo and Gira are a sampling of the playthings of Denis. With disregard, the least were stripped from their homes. The lives in those ages were consumed, and the Denis gave nothing back. And whatever is not given back will be taken. The journeys are complete. Now take the final pillar. Take it, but hear all I've said. It's the whispers and murmurs that reveal the simple truths. You hold the precious soul of a Barrow in your age, in your hand. Such things are not meant to be held. Do what I do. I have learned things, seen things, written things they never thought possible. I have seen the real treasures that are protected by the petty fences of their rules. I have found the precious gold buried deep beneath the weighty mountains of their laws. This is my journey too. I am returning what has been given. These years I've spent, this path I've traveled, this gift I've been given, this purpose weighs on me, my burden, the legacy of my father Atris. For we are shaping Denis. We will mold what comes after. We cannot keep the power and the pride from ruining this new Denis, but we can prepare those who will read between the lines. The least are returning. The stream in the cleft is returning. Life is returning. The fisher is returning. The circle will be completed when you give back what you have taken. You must return.
Alrighty, well, let's get that final pillar. And here our final symbol here, which will be important shortly. Let's go through the floor here. 4 pillars are in place, but it's only temporary. Now what we have to do is give back the pillars from where we took them from. So we will do that in the same order we did the ages in. But before we actually do that, I'm going to go back to either chemo. And we'll do a brief detour. We're going to read that journal about King Shamat that we found earlier. And we will not be giving back the pillar here just yet. I may have been doing some of this stuff out of order, but I really don't want to redo the whole thing. Especially because part 1 will be released in like 8 days from now. It's February 4th as I record this. Although you will not see it until the end of February. Okay, let's see here, not that way. Ah yes, this way here. Here we go. Now, I don't know how long this is, so I'll do my best to read it quickly. Beginning to the very beginning. The story of Shamat, taken from book 43C. We have yet to name it. Translation, Neck. First draft. At the age of 121, Shamat had resided in his palace of the king for 20 years, though the palace had taken 45 years to construct and new additions had been added every year. Shamat was still not pleased with all that surrounded him. His palace was larger than any structure in the city, and the gardens of his palace were more beautiful than any other living plants that the people had ever known. But Shamat demanded more from those who created his home and his gardens. Shamat sent messengers demanding that Lamash, the head, this word seems to define some kind of leader of the servants, although they never defined them as servants. Have to ask Dr. Watson. Oh, excuse me. Of his palace, come to his gardens immediately. And Lamash obeyed. Yes, my king, what is it that you require of me? Do you see these bulbs of orange and leaves of brown that surround me? Of course, my king, they are unlike any that dwell in this cavern. Do you see the intricate stone that surrounds me? Asked Shamat. Of course, again there is none like them in the cavern. And Shamat suddenly became angry, cursing at his servants, and not really servants, but he'll have to do, and screaming at those in his presence. Who do you think that I am? Do you think I have never used the books to see the beauty that lies outside this cavern? I have written these books myself, even while you have seen me trained by the Grand Master. And yet you act as though I should be pleased at the beauty that now surrounds me. Beauty that comes only from this cavern of no light, no warmth, and no color. Do you think stone and darkness are all that I require? Who do you think that I am? Okay, that made it kind of distracting there. It's coming from the game. So, my king, what is it that you ask of me? Bring to me Grandmaster Kinry. Together you will work in a writing sense with him and create for me and create for me real beauty, roaring water, colors beyond imagination, living creations, not stone. These are the gardens that I demand. Now go and bring them to me. Okay, the rain seemed to have stopped. And so Lamash went to Kenry, Grand Master of the Guild of Fighters, and together they created an age with beauty that was beyond that which any man had seen before, and together they brought their king to the age. 8 months, these were Dunny months, after its request had been made. Shamat was pleased with all that he saw. Broad leaves of green and yellow, flowers of every color, and roaring waters of blue and turquoise, like the most colorful stones of Dunny. And he promoted Lamash, as he was already head. I'm not sure about his promotion, but the word is fairly clear. And made Kenry his most prized Grand Master in all of Dunny. Shaman spent every day on his new age, and he asked for more of them, and he asked his architects to provide structures on these ages. And while this happened, Shaman's brothers continued to grow more jealous, and their anger turned to rage. They had not been invited to live in the palace of their brother, and now, though multitudes of common citizens were invited to the gardens of Shamat, never once were they allowed to visit, and their hearts burned toward their king and brother. So it was that Shamat was sitting alone in his golden age when 2 creatures approached him. Though they resembled men, they walked on their arms and legs and moved quickly. Shamat was frightened upon seeing the creatures, and immediately called for his guards. The creatures ran from the guards, but Shamat ordered his guards to follow them, and the guards obeyed. It was not until the next day that they returned. They claimed they had seen a city with hundreds of these creatures living in it, conversing with one another, and organizing armies. These armies lived inside of the golden age of Shamat, and Shamat was very afraid. Shamat ordered the men who had seen the village to be put in prison, not sure if book or physical prison, for what they saw, and he called his most trusted adviser, Lamash, to his residence in the city upon hearing of the creatures and their organization. Lamash too was frightened. "We have no choice but to burn the book," Lamash recommended. "You know this age is not ours, if it is already inhabited. You know the rules of our writing, and of our books, and of our people." But Shamat's heart was not moved by the words of Lamash, and he grew more angry and enraged. "The world was created by me, for me. If there are others who exist, they will have to be killed. It is Dunny now." So Shamat ordered for his brothers to be brought into his palace, and he informed them of his dilemma. Shamat asked his brothers if they would kill those who lived on his golden ages, and he bribed them with talk of power and authority, and so they agreed even though they hated their brother. And the brothers of Shamat traveled to the age, and went to the creatures to destroy them. But in talking with the creatures, they became convinced that the creatures should not be killed, but instead they should be used to destroy their brother, and so they devised a plan to kill their brother, the king. While Shamat waited in his palace in the city, his brothers appeared to him. "We have finished," they announced. "The creatures are all dead." Shamat was pleased to hear such words from his brothers, and on the outside he showed love to them. "My brothers, I have done much wrong to you. There have been many times that I have not treated you like even those who work in my palace, and I am sorry for these actions. But today you have proven that you do not hold anger like I do. You are better than me. You have shown me favor, and so I ask you to accept what I have to offer you. Please accept this gift." And Shamat gave his brothers a linking book. Its pages were filled with descriptions of beauty and life, like Shamat's own golden age. "And it will be kept here in this palace where you will live now." Filled with pleasure, and forgetting their hate for Shamat, his brothers went to the age quickly, and it was there that they died, thinking that they had fooled their brother. Shamat burned the book in his own fire, forever erasing his brothers and their deceit from his mind. And Shamat ordered the Grand Master to change his golden age so that those who lived there would die, and Kenri obeyed the king, even though he knew it was wrong, and his life was filled with turmoil until he died. But Shamat, though he did what was wrong, continued to live and pursue all that he wanted. The story continues, but it seemed a good point to stop. I'd like to go over this a few more times with some better translators, maybe even Dr. Watson. I filled in a lot of words as best I could for now. Alrighty. Well, that was pretty interesting. It seems that Shamat was not the king we thought he was. Alrighty. Now here, we'll go back to Veltro. Alright, and here we'll go to Tamana using the journey cloth. Alrighty, let's go to the Bowel Cave and return the pillar. Oh, this is different. It's orange now, not blue. I wonder if it's a different cave. Okay. I need to make sure that symbol is the same. Oh, that's different. The crack in the ground here. Interesting. Next up, we have Gleason. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. I don't know how we can survive such a long jump like that. Okay. What we got here? That one's there. That's a very familiar looking shape. Alright, next up we have Cage to Lisa. Let's see here. Last time I went around the long way over here. But this time we would take the fun way on this pipe. Or whatever you want to call it. Now I would never do this if I was here in real life. I'm not so much afraid of heights, but I'm not a fan of the falling kind. So it's pretty cool to do this right here. Okay, I'm gonna walk backwards. Ooh, I'm connected. Cool. Now we know what sheep that is. That is the sheep of Ephesia, as well as the cleft in the desert. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but the cleft is actually in New Mexico. At least that's what it's supposed to be. Oh, in the final book, Idokimo, I'm using the tuning cloth here, although it's not that far from the cave anyway. Let's see here. There it is, right over here. Alrighty. All 4 pillars have been returned. And now I'm going to go look around here to make sure I got these 4 symbols correct. Because they were different in every game. Okay. This one here was in Greason, the Greason one. This one here was Idokimo. Let me write that down. It also represents Idokira, but the 8 to 10 is Idokimo. Alright. And this one here was Teledon. And this one was Kiris Tulisa. Alright. Now the position actually does matter, because you have to put this into the machine where we saw the message from Isha at the beginning. So the one from Teledon is on top there. And this one is on the bottom. That's the left, and that's the right. Alright, let's go. Created a fissure. Well, nothing left to do but to go in it. Oh. Yep. The fissure leads to Earth. Now we are back in the desert, next to an inactive volcano. Alrighty, that explains how all this stuff from living got here. And this is actually where our character, the stranger, found the linking book to Mist. Right here. Why he was in the desert, I don't know. Before we go into the cleft, I'm going to go over here by this trailer to show you something. Oh, Zendy's gone. Interesting. He might be inside the trailer, but there's no Peter Gabriel playing. Hey, Zendy, you in there? We can't go inside, unfortunately. Yeah, he's gone. Anyway, let's put those symbols into the machine and see what Isha has to say. Alright, can we go there? Yes, thankfully we don't have to go down. Yeah. Okay, right over here. Okay, this one is that. And right here is that one. This one here is this exact symbol here, so there we go. And this one is that.
An ending has been written? You've done all that has been asked. You've traveled the full circle. You have returned to the cleft through the fissure. You swam among the stars and saw the remnants of previous journeys. You have returned, and the pillars were returned. And now one more of the Barro, the least, has been returned to Denis. You don't need to understand what that means. Only that the hand of the Maker has set it in motion. Now the circle is complete, and the tree has begun to grow again. The path is now open, and so the symbol of the journey must change. Now the beginning is tied to the end. Now you can go where you wish. The restoration of Denis awaits. The deep city breathes. Uru again. And I will be concerned with other things. The least are becoming greater. They will now also affect the restoration. Perhaps not the way others had planned. You've learned about the pride of Denis. The great writers of worlds were infected with pride that became a cancer. It grew quietly beneath the surface, but it grew until Denis could live no more. But those things have been told. You understand it well, I think. Let us end this cycle with rewards before we start the next cycle. Relto, the High Place. Your age now. It was the first age I wrote, a gift from my parents, and now much more. It reminds me of another home, another place. I even placed the library in the place it belongs. But Relto will change. It will be your soul, showing what you are. Only I could write Relto. It's beyond what the Denis could accomplish. Keep it. And I've given you clothing that represents your journey. Wear this to show others what side you've taken, when sides are taken. When you wear it, you will tell all that you side with us. With Yisha, with the Barro, it will not always be easy. And another gift is here, a link to the cleft here in Tomana. You haven't been able to return here, but now you can. This book will take a special place on your shelf. This place is not meant to be shared. Return here alone when you wish to remember the cycle of things.
Okay, I'm not sure how this works, but I'm going to use it.
Returning. One final gift. Something that no Denis writer has been able to do for more than 10,000 years. I alone can write this gift. I alone am chosen to do this and more. This gift is what my father Atris would have longed to give his grandmother Tiana. What Tiana longed for and danced for. The gift of life in the desert. Perhaps the ending has not yet been written.
Huh. Interesting. Actually, I'm going to wait. Before we do anything. Alright. That will add rain to our rotor. I'm going to go outside here. Perhaps the ending has not yet been written. Well, cool. Well, that actually does it for this part of the game. That is the ending. There's no end credits here. So, let's see. I'm about 35 minutes, so I'm going to end the video here. And next time we shall continue with the first part of our expansion pack, which is called To Denis. So until then, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button. And I will see you all. Hang on. That's loud thunder. I'll see you all next time. So until then, take care and have a great rest of your day.